Hello and welcome to Neck Computer Projects. So I'd like to welcome you to this channel and assure you that you clicked on the right video if you want to know how to create the tables for the project and add relationship between the tables. So before we start, I'll just like to remind you that the projects are already available on our website. Just visit our website and purchase yourself, give yourself a sample of the project. The projects are just a few cents you can get for yourself and reduce the pressure on yourself. I know right now you have a lot of pressure because you have the project to do and at the same time you have other books to read. So it will be easier for you if you purchase the project and reduce the pressure on yourself. Without wasting much of your time, I'll just navigate to the folder that we'll use for designing this template. I already designed a database file that we'll use for this project. So I'll just open the database file and then expand it to fill to the bottom. Okay, so there you go. So the next thing, I'll open the database schema file that I already created. I just wanted to make this video short, so I already designed the database schema that we'll be using. It contains the table, the fields, and the data types that we'll be using for the database schema for the database. So I'll just type the WordPad, and then this is the file that has that database schema. Okay, I'll also expand it to fill to the top, and then I'll minimize it, then combine the two files so that they open side by side. So there we go. We have the two files open. So the next thing we'll be doing is we'll be designing the table, starting from the first table to the last one. So without wasting much time, let's dive into the design by creating the tables. Okay, so in this video, I'll start by designing the first table, which will be the clients table. I'll use the tables, then go to design view. The first table will be the client information. So I'll type client info as our first table, client info, and then save that table. Then we start adding the records. Not the records, but the fields. The first field will be the client ID. So that will just be auto number, and then the other one is the client name. That will be text, short text. The other one will be the client address. So that too will be a short text, but you can add long text as depending on the addresses that you'll be typing. For me, I just want the email addresses. And then the other one will be telephone number. Telephone number will just be number, and then the other one is the client category. So the client category. So we had three clients category. So I'll just use a lookup field to add the client category. I want two columns. So the first column will be the identification number of the clients. So I'll add 1, 2, 3. And then the name of the category. So we had industrial, commercial, and domestic. Industrial clients, and then commercial clients, finally domestic clients. Domestic. Okay, those are our clients. So I'll just go to next, and then I want the first column to be used for the reference. So I'll click on, but let me go back and squeeze this column right here to be small, because I don't want it to be visible. So I'll just click next, and then finish. The next thing will be the next field will be the local authority fee. So I want the authority fees to be charged when the client is being registered. So local authority fee. So I want this one to be a calculated field because it differs for the different categories. So I'll use an if statement right here, and then client category, if the client category So I'll just add the square brackets first, and then type client category. So if the client category is equals to 1, the fee will be, so we are looking at the authority fee, local authority fee. The local authority fee for the industrial client is 50,000, and then if they are not the first or the industrial clients, we go to the next one and check if the client category, so client category is equals to 2 and add a comma right there, then this one is 30,000. If they are not for that category, we add another if, and then check if the client category is equals to 3, then they are 10,000, their local authority fee. If they are not either first, second, or third, we don't want to display any authority fee, so we'll just add a 0 there. Then I'll just copy this to make sure that if it fails to work, we won't have to start it over again. So let me save this one and go to the design view, choose a client category right here. So that is it, it's working. Yeah, it's alright. So let's go back to the design view, and then the other thing was the survey fee. So I'll add that field to the survey fees. Okay, I'll use a calculated field for these two and paste the function I used previously, but this time we want to use this amount that was we used at the first time. So we'll check how the survey fee is being charged. So for the first category it's 20,000, so we change here to 20,000, and then this one to 15,000, and then this one to 7,000. Backspace to 7,000, and then save it. Then we want now to get the total amount of fees that will be charged, both for the local authority and the survey fee. So we add another field for total fees. Then it will be a calculated field too, and then we will be adding this field, the survey fee plus the authority fee, and we save it. The next thing we'll be adding is the client image, but let me add the client image before starting the calculations so that it goes with that order. So I'll just add a client image so that we identify the clients with their pictures. Client image, and we add it as an attachment right there, then save and change these ones to, okay, I want this one to be in currency type, so I'll change the result type to currency, currency. For this one too, the result type will be currency, and the same for this one. Save this one and go back to the table view. So we chose the first domestic client, so it calculated the, okay, it isn't calculating the total fees, but let's check where the error comes from so that we can fix it before we go too far. This was our expression, so let me check why it's not working. Yeah, there is it, it's working right now. So let's go to the next table and let's see how the next table will be designed. Okay, after having designed this client table, I just realized that some fields and some steps weren't visible when I was designing the table. So I'll just show you the functions that we used. So I'll expand this. I don't know if it will accept to zoom. because it seems that my screen recorder only shows the window that I am in right now. When a pop-up window opens, it won't show. So I don't know how I'll do this, but I'll add a file so that you download the functions that were used to calculate the different for this survey fee, local authority fee, and the way I added them. I'll send the steps for adding the how do you call it, the client category for those who don't know. So I'll save it and I'll close this. So I'll just go to the next table that I wanted to design. Open the table design, and the next table will be the borehole details. So borehole, just save it as borehole. Details. Be more descriptive. Then save this one. The first field will be the borehole ID. So I'll add borehole ID. That will be auto number. The next one will be the client information. So I'll type out client info. And then here I would like to create a relationship between the client table and the borehole table. So I told you that my screen has a little bit problem with showing two windows at the same time. So I don't know how I'll demonstrate this one, but there's a simple way to create a relationship using the lookup wizard. I wish it will show, but I'll just record these short steps, so that it's easier for you to see. So all the videos will be added to the description. At the end of this video, you'll find the videos, the steps to show how you create the lookup, the relationship using the lookup wizard. So I'll just go. I know you won't see this, but there's no problem. I'll add the video at the end of this section, because these videos are different sections. The first section was the client information table. The next section is this borehole details table. So after this section, you'll have the client, or the way you create the relationship. So I'll just choose the client name, the client address, then next, then next, next, enable information integrity, and finish. So it's asking me to, it's saying if you add that, it's asking me the table must be saved before the relationship is created. So I'll save this one and save the table too. Okay, I'll add the other fields, which are the borehole description. That will be long text, because you might be having a not large number but long text. You might be having a long description for the borehole, and then the borehole depth, as you might have predicted, this will just be number, because the depth can't be a text, but you can add the field type in text as long as you type the value as number. So I'll close this, save this one and close it. Go back to the relationship and check if a relationship has been created. Yeah, all relationships. So there's a relationship between the information table and the borehole details table. So I'll show the relationship. Let me edit this relationship and add more cascade. Check these boxes and then save it. Save that one, close it. Here, there we go. So let's go to the next section, which will be creating the next table. So in this table, we are allowing users or customers from to come into our system, but instead of just asking for the services, they can also buy products. So maybe someone just wants to buy a pump, but they don't want us to install it for them. They can just purchase the pump and do the installation by themselves, because maybe they might be having some means to do the installation. I designed this purchase table to make it easier for the clients to purchase the products and go do installation by themselves. So I'll just add the required fields. So the first one will be the purchase ID, to act as the primary key of the table, and then the next one will be the product purchased, products, or the product purchased. So I'll add the relationship between this table and the products table. So the products available, and then choose the product type, the product ID, and the product name. Next, enable information integrity, then finish, save, yes, then save it once again. Then choose the client information, so that we identify the particular client who is doing this purchase. So I'll do client info for the client information, and then choose the lookup wizard to create relationships. So I've been using lookup wizard to create this relationship, because it's easier that way instead of using the drag and drop method. So I'll use the client information table, then choose the client ID and the client name, choose next, enable information integrity, yes, and then finish, save it, then save it once again. The next one will be the date when the purchase was done. So date of purchase. So this will just be the date when the purchase was done. The field data type is date this time. Then save it and then close. So that was it. So I think you'll find it useful, and it will be alright for you when you add this one. This table shows that you are a creative student, and it will be good for you. So that's it. Okay, so there we go. We have the product table, or the products available, where we have the product ID, the product type, the price, the maintenance fee, the tank cost, the capacity, and then the image to identify the product with a particular image. And then the next one, with the first one that we created, was the product type, to identify the types of not the product but service type. So there is this type ID and the type name. So the service can be either pump installation, tank installation, drilling, and all those services that was stated by the question. So those are the tables that we currently designed. So let's go to the next table, which will be the table for the single service. So each service will have its own table. The drilling service will have its own table. The maintenance, the plumbing, and the pump installation, all of them will have separate tables. So we'll start by the first one. So let's save this one as the we start by service, because I want this tables to be together. So the service, then the name of the service, which is drilling. So we set the drill ID as auto number as the field data type, and then the service ID to create the relationship between the this particular service, this drilling service, and the ID of the service that was used to offer the drilling. So I'll choose the service type. Lead service type. No. Okay, but before we start creating this one, let me first create the services table, because I don't have that table currently. So let me create that table first before we start creating the relationship between the tables. So where is it? Service offered service. So services rendered. So let me create this table first before we come to the individual service. We have services rendered or services offered table. Okay, then we add the service ID. That will be auto number, and then add the client information, the information of the client who has asked for this particular service. So the client info. We'll add a lookup wizard to look up the clients. So the client information, use that table, then we add the client ID, client name, and client address. Save that one. Next, then enable inferential integrity. Finish. Yes. Save. Yes. The next one will be the service type. And this one will refer from the service type table, so that we choose a particular a specific type of service, either drilling, installation, or the other service types. So I'll use the service type table to create a relationship. So I'll add all the fields in that particular table. Save that one. Save it to enable inferential integrity. Finish. Yes. And then save. Yes. The next one is the date when the service was offered. So the date when the service was offered. This data type will be date time. And then save this one. I think we are done. So I'll now go back to the one I was creating, which was drilling service. So the service ID, I'll just delete this. Okay, I won't delete, but let me change this one to the lookup. and then use the service rendered table to create a relationship between the service and the between the services offered table and the single service. Then finish inferential integrity. Finish. Yes. Save it once again. Yeah, there we go. So that's the drilling service table. Let me add the other fields. So we have the drilling type. We had different drilling type that was stated by the question. So I'll add drilling type right here and use a lookup wizard to add the drilling type, the different drilling types that was stated by the question. I'll add the column count to 2 and then add the different drilling types. So we have we had symmetrical drilling, core drilling, and geotechnical drilling. So the first one will be first one, second one, and the third one. The first one will be symmetric drilling. Symmetric drilling. Then the second one will be core drilling. And the third one will be geotechnical drilling. That is it, geotechnical drilling. Then next, yes, finish. And then the drilling cost. I'll use a calculated field for the to determine the cost depending on the drilling type that has been chosen. So drilling cost, I'll choose a calculated field, and the functions are the formulas that I'm using for this calculated field. I'll add a file that you'll download and find the formulas that I use for this particular calculated field. So we'll check if the drilling type, ID right here I have type is equals to 1, then add a comma. So if it's 1, it means that it's symmetric drilling, which is 130,000. And if the drilling type is equals to 2, it means that that is core drilling, which is 225,000. Then add another if the drilling type is 3, which means that this one will be geotechnical drilling. It is 335,000. And if it's not 1, 2, or 3, so it means that they have not chosen any drilling type. So we'll just add a 0 there, then copy the function so that when it fails, we can just paste it and continue with the error checking. So right now we haven't chosen any drilling type, so it stands as 0. So if we choose the first one, it adds the cost right there, the second one and the third one, so it's working as we expect. And I'll change the field type, the result type to not calculated but currency. So the next thing that we'll be adding will be for the drilling table. Let me check. Yeah, after the drilling cost, that's all we need for this drilling table. So I'll close the table and go to the next one, the other single service table. So I'll save the table as service maintenance. The reason why I'm starting with service instead of starting with maintenance service, because I want all the services table to be together, so one after the other. That's why I'm saving them like that. So I'll add the ID as maintenance ID. That will be auto number as the data type, auto number, and then the other one will be service ID. So this will link the single service with the ID of the service that this service was offered in. So I know it will sound like confusing, but it will just be easier if you follow along and understand the logic at which we are using to design these tables.
Yeah.
So I'll use a lookup wizard for the service ID. So I'll just this service rendered table, then add the service ID for the relationship, then next, enable informational integrity, then finish, save the table, yes, yes. And then the next one will be the product name, the product that we are maintaining. So we have the product name. So this one too will use a lookup wizard for that, so that you select a product without having to type out their names. So I'll use the product available table and then use the product ID and the product type. Okay. Yes. So we have the product type, and then save that one too. Then enable informational integrity and finish. Save the table before adding the relationship. Yes. Okay. I think that is all we need for the maintenance table. Yeah. Then close this one and go to the next table, which is the plumbing service table. Create another table, design views. Yes. Okay. So the table name, the table primary key will be plumbing ID, and then auto number as the data type of the field. Then add this one as the primary key. Then the service ID. Use the lookup wizard to add relationship. Next one, service ID, service rendered. Yes. Finish. Enable information integrity and finish. Save that one as service plumbing, and then the other one will be pipe type. Then the pipe type is short text because you'll have typed the pipe type because you aren't given the type of the pipes that are available. Then the next one is the diameter. This one will be a number. The diameter is a number. The next one is the length of the pipe, a number, true. The one is the number of outlets, so I'll just type outlets, and then this one is a number. The charges for the plumbing service, we aren't given this one, so you'll just have to think by yourself the charges that you'll add. This one will be currency. So let's save this one too. I think that is all we need for the table. Save this one and close. The next one will be plumbing service. Is it plumbing or not plumbing, but pump installation. So let's create another table for the pump installation service. So I'll save this one as pump. Start with service, then the name of the service, pump installation. Design view, open the design view, then add the first field as installation ID. Installation ID as auto number, and it acts as the primary key. Then we have the service ID. Then add the relationship between the service ID and the service rendered table. So I'll use the service rendered table, then choose a service ID, then next, enable inferential integrity. Next, then save that one, save it once again. The next thing we are designing is the pump installed. So pump installed. We want to use a lookup wizard for the pump install because we want a specific pump. So we had the product there. In the products table, I forgot to add the product name. So let me add another row right here and then add the product name. I just added the product type but didn't add the product name. So that will be short text. Save this one, close it. Then we look up the products available. Under the products available, we choose the product ID and the product name. Finish. Next. Enable information integrity to create the relationship. Then save yes. So right here we have already created the pump install, but now if we had some products available, it will have shown all the products. So what we want right now is to make sure that the product that will be shown will be only pump. So I'll use this query. Then under the product type, so let me drag the product type right here also. And then under the product type, I'll add pump so that the products that will be shown will only be pumps. Okay. Then save this one and close it. So it will show the products, but the products that will be shown will be only pumps. Yeah. So that is it. Save it once again. And then go to the next ones. We have the pump installed. The borehole depth. So here, the borehole depth will be auto-filled from the information of the borehole that will be captured. So add the borehole depth. This one will be a number. The next one will be the tank height above the ground, because the pump installation is charged depending on the tank height above the ground. Then this one too will be a number. The next one will be the cost per depth. We weren't given the value, so you'll just have to add your own values, and then the cost per height. Then this one too will be currency, and you'll use your own values because the question didn't state which values we'll have to use. So close that one. Then create another table. I think we are left with how many services? 2 or 3 services. The next service will be tank installation. After pump installation, we now have tank installation. So let's save that and save this as service. Tank installation. Tank installation. Yes, okay, save this one. Then go to the design view. Add the first field as the installation ID. That will act as our primary key. The next one will be the tank installation tank. Service ID to create the relationship between the single service and the services table, services offered table. So we have the service ID, and then use a lookup wizard to look up the service. Where is it? Services rendered table. This one is the one I'm looking for. And then save this one. Then yes, service ID. Next, then enable inferential integrity. Enable data integrity. Yes. Then finish. Save. Yes. Save it once again. Yes. And then the tank installed. Right. Also, you want to add the details of the particular tank that was installed. I'll use a lookup wizard and filter the data if the tank type the product type is tank. So I'll add the relationship between the tank installation and the tank installation and the tank and the products available. So then I'll filter the products so that it shows only the products where the type is tank. So finish this one, save it once again, yes. Then look up wizard. Here I'll edit and right here the type. I'll add the criteria so that it filters only where the type is tank. Then save it. Save it once again and close. Close it. The next service that we are left with, I think, maintenance, plumbing, installation. Okay. Tank installation, which one else? I think those are all the services that we have. Drilling, maintenance, plumbing, tank installation, pumping. Yeah, those are all the services that we have in this system. So it was just that simple. So let's go back to the relationship and check how many relationships that we do we have right now. As you can see, I never use a drag and drop method to create the relationship, but we have right here the relationship, and the relationship are working perfectly. So if we use some testing data, let's add a client, add the name as client A, then the address as address, then the phone number. Random, just add a random number right there. What is it? Okay, that is it. So we added one client, then add one borehole. The client information, let's choose the client that we just added. Then the borehole description, let's say it's borehole 1. Then the borehole depth, let's add 1. Okay, I never so let me add the format so that it's formatted in meters. So I'll just add dash and then meters, meter or meters. So I want the value to be formatted in meters. Let me go back and check how it looks like. I expect it to be formatted in meters, but okay, that is it. Hope it will work sometime. So the next one, I'll add the products available. We had different products. I'll add a pump. We had different pumps where the question had given us the different pumps that were available. So I'll just copy the name of those pumps and then add them right there. Right now I'll only add a few tanks. Okay, let me find these tanks. Yeah, we have a water pump, then the electric pump, solar pump, and hand pump. Okay. So let me add a tank. Just add a tank. One tank and one pump. So we have Uzima, because we aren't given the tanks that are available. So we add Uzima tank 1. The product price will be around 20,000. Let's just add a random price. I've added 200,000. I just want 20,000. The maintenance cost, let's say it's 10,000. 10,000. The tank installation, it's around 15,000. The capacity, it's let's say 5,000 liters. And add one pump. So we have electric pump. The product price, I'm not quite sure what it was, but let me just add 120,000 as a random price. Then the maintenance cost, let's say 100,000, but you'll add the actual values that were provided by the question. Right now I'm just using random values. And then the next one will be the tank, because this one is for tank, so I won't add the tank installation, the capacity. Those ones I'll just leave them blank because these products currently are a tank, I mean a pump. So I won't add the fields for the tank capacity and the tank installation cost. I'll close this one and then come to the drilling and choose a service. So I haven't added any service rendered, so let me render one service right here. Choose the client information as the clients that we added, then service type. I never added the services, so let me add the service types. The first service is pump installation. Pump installation. Then we have tank installation. Another one we are having here is plumbing as the service, as another service. Then the maintenance for service. Another one is okay, I think those are all the services that we have right now. Okay, I forgot drilling service. Yeah, so let's save this one and close it. Go back to the service rendered, open it, choose a service as tank installation, then the date, choose the date as today, save it, close it, go back to the drilling service table, and then right here you can choose the service ID, service 1, then the service type, choose any one, save this one and close it. For the maintenance, you can choose for all the right now you can choose one service type, but you add different services, but I limit that using a form so that someone can't choose the same, someone can't choose multiple single services in one service provided. Okay, so let me add another one, comma, semicolon, then 1, change this one to 0 so that we see the name of the name of the product instead of the numbers of the values. So here I choose one. Okay, so let me see where the problem is coming from. So view, yeah, we have the product ID and the product type, so those are the product name. I'll add the product name right here, save this one, close it, add another column, but now this column will be a 0 length or the width 0 because you only want to see one column on at the table level. The column count 3 and save this one. Let's see if there is any change. Here we have the product for me. We can maintain either tank, the two products that we currently added. So I can offer maintenance services for any of them. So let me check if the pumps here are being filtered so that we make sure that we are doing the right thing. So let me check why the pumps are not showing up. The same problem, we added 3 columns, but we are defining the row count as 2, so add here to 3, and then this one to 0. I think that will work perfectly. So when I choose that, still it's not picking up. So let me check. 23. 3. Okay, since it's not picking up, but it's alright. I'll correct the mistake before adding the files to here 0, 1. Okay, no problem with that. So another one is tank installed. Same problem, but I'll fix all of them and I'll make sure that everything is functional. So with that said, That's all I wanted to show you for this video. So I hope you'll have a good day. And to remind you, I have this video. I'll just leave the link to download these files. I'll just leave the link to download this file in the description so that it's easier for you to get the files and you see how we designed them. So with that said, just want to wish you a good day.